What's up, y'all? This is Monte Taylor here at the Zach Nichols podcast. Make sure to tune in. We're talking about real shit, good stuff, so make sure to watch.
Welcome back to the Zach Nichols podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Zach Nichols. Big guys in the building. And a second round of applause is appropriate today as we have Big Brother runner-up, challenge contestant, Mr. Monte Taylor in the building.
What's good? Appreciate y'all for having me, man. I feel honored.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, it's a real podcast.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
Oh, yeah, no, it is.
It's legit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I know sometimes I'm surprised myself. So number 2 on Big Brother 24, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, season 24.
You feel like you got robbed?
Man.
Get right to it.
I think going into like the final 2, because I won the last HOH competition and I had the choice to choose between Taylor and Turner. Like in my head, I was like, oh, I did everything that I needed to do, like in comparison from my game to Taylor's or my games to Turner. I thought I had a chance of winning either way, but I thought, okay, the greatest likelihood of me winning would probably be against Taylor just based off of like our game resumes.
You think so?
Oh, 100%, man, because I had won more competitions. I had been on the block less. As far as like the connections in the house, had the stronger connections. I personally felt at that moment.
I felt like you ran the show. You ran the house. That was what I got from it, and I feel like you were at the center of every decision made for that entire season. Just my opinion, because I watched it.
Okay.
And I thought you would have won against either of them.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
that's the tough part about Big Brother. It doesn't come down to wins or how good of a competitor.
It's a political game.
It's so political, yeah.
Yeah, it's so social. And I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, especially in the jury house. Like, so if you guys notice, I had 8 votes to 1, right? Or she had 8 votes to my 1. And the only vote that I got was from Turner, who was in the house with me.
Yeah.
So there's a clear difference between like what's discussed in the jury house versus what's actually happening.
How people perceive the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you have a bunch of people who don't understand the way you did things, they could perceive it one way. But yeah, that's rough getting all that way because that's like what, 1 day of sunlight.
Yes.
like yard time. Like oh man.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of equivalents and parallels to prison, man. It's crazy.
Geez, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Like what is it like essentially being told what to do and when to do it when I know you're a free bird?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we talked about this, Pierre.
Yeah.
Like I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm independent, bro. I pay my own bills. Like I don't like when people tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my personality.
I'll be home when I'm home.
Exactly.
When are you gonna be home? When I'm
when
done.
I'm good and ready.
Yeah, when I'm done. When's that gonna be? When I'm done. Yeah, I was like that too until I got married.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm still single. So,
Yeah, so
you know.
no, I definitely get that. That's rough.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of you being single now, you guys, if you're following us on the Instagram, you know that we went to the Pistons game. Guys, I'm telling you, the kids, they have this thing, it's called Riz. That's what they call it. It's called charisma. And this fucking guy, effortlessly, I'm telling you, that's what they call it. They call it Riz, and it means charisma, right? This guy, 2 instances that I literally could not believe. So we're in line. It's like something market at Little Caesars Arena, and he's getting a little bowl. I got my little tacos, and he's going to pay for it. He graciously offers to pay before I could get there, and the young ladies behind the counter go, "Nah, you're good." And I was like, "Tell him the story."
I
please.
was like, because I ordered first, and then you were coming after me, so I was like, I went up to them, and you kind of saw their face. They were like kind of giggly and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you're so handsome." And I was like, "Oh, thank you," And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna get me and my man's over here." And they looked at me, they were like, "Mm-mm." And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Mm-mm." And I was like, "Oh, so we're good?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Go." Yeah. She was like, "Go now." And I was like, all right, cool.
In my head, I'm thinking he paid for it. He did some Apple. I don't know what he did. He's like, "Bro, just go."
I was like, just walk
all
away. Yeah. Just stop thinking about it so much.
And I'm saying like, all right, okay, whatever. They recognized him. They're going to pay. Like, nah, they just thought he was... they literally, they had no idea who he was. They're just like, and I told them, I'm like, okay, I've been to a lot of sporting events in my life. Obviously, I don't look like that, but I've been with people that, like you and like whatever that are whatever, the women are about, and never in my life have I ever.
No, that's impressive.
I told him, I said, you ain't never been with a 6'4" brother to a Pistons getting up
in Detroit, man.
Detroit,
So the second story, real quick, before we get into everything. So we're leaving. We take our pictures, whatever. We go to the game. We're leaving.
Walking up the
we're
stairs,
walking
yeah.
up, and this young lady stops Monte. Says, "Excuse me, are you married?" Tell him the story.
Yeah,
man, please.
yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not married. And I'm thinking she's, talking to me about her. She was like, no, my friend over here is super shy. She just wasn't sure how to approach you and all that sort of stuff. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to go up to him and approach him. Just what a wonderful wing woman she is.
Yeah. Wow.
And then, like, they're both like, oh, yeah, what's your name? This, that, and the third. What are you doing after this? Like, come on, you want to get drinks? Like, let's get drinks. I was like, girl, we just met today. Like,
She was shooting her shot. Shooting
Very
it.
friendly, very nice,
Yeah,
but just very, they're right at it out here.
You might want to take him to the beach. This
I was gonna say, bro, you're invited everywhere because you can take the first round picks. I don't mind the second or third round picks. Nah,
you know, my
we're
bad
doing-
cleanup.
No, not at all.
clean up.
Not at all. We were talking a little bit about the Big Brother presence on his season, and then I think. We were talking about potentially other people coming, and Alysa Lopez's name brought up, and I said, "Yeah, I don't think she's coming up here."
Yeah, you guys screwed it up.
But if you could get her to like me, then you'll really be something special. Seriously.
Nah, me and Lopez are tight, man. I know if I had a real good conversation with her about it, who knows?
Yeah,
But-
maybe she'll. Okay, all right,
yeah.
cool. There's hope for me, guys. I could get married. All right.
Oh my god! All right, now she's not coming.
Yeah, no, she's definitely not coming. I'm okay. I'm successful. All right, we can get into it. So, we're gonna start off. For those of you who don't know how we do our interviews, we're gonna start off talking about this episode 2, and then we're gonna dive into Monte in the second half. We'll start in episode 2, Challenge USA: Battle for a New Champion. It starts back at the house after the Big T elimination. They show Jay talking with Chauncey. They put an emphasis on this whole Team USA alliance, and also Jay's working with a couple of the other people that he knows from Ride or Dies, Spies, Lies, blah, 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 which are Berna, Colleen, and Emmanuel. He tells Chauncey that he's working with him, but, Chauncey senses something a little bit uneasy about Jay. The next morning, they do this montage.
Well, don't you think everyone feels something a little uneasy about Jay at this point? We've seen enough now to know that, he's notorious for saying, and then here's the thing, a lot of people do this, but he's done it a lot on camera. He says, yeah, I got you, we're good, and then by the end of the episode he's throwing that exact person in. This is the third time I've seen him do it, so
Damn.
I'm not taking anything he says at face value anymore.
Hell no. And we talked to Michaela about it 2 weeks ago, or last week. I'm losing my mind. Last week, and she doesn't have any hard feelings, but he did backstab her in their Survivor season.
Oh really? Oh, they were on the same season. Of
Yeah,
Survivor?
they're on
Oh,
the same
wow.
season of Survivor,
Okay.
and he did. They were working together, and he blindsided her.
Yeah.
So I mean, we all know, and to this day, Michelle defends him. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. I'm curious to see what happens the rest of the season. Can't be trusted.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of Michelle, the next morning they show the montage, and of course she's getting a little smooch from Callum in the
friendly,
garden.
yeah.
So my question for you, Monte, is what was your experience with Michelle, and does she have a genuine connection with her showmances, or is it just to benefit her gameplay?
My experience with Michelle is, she's a person who loves to have fun. She's dope to be around. She's down for a good time. As far as her connections, I mean, I only spent one season with her. You know what I mean? So I didn't see her get close to anybody, and we never got personally that close to a point where I'm like, oh, we can pursue something outside of this or whatever have you. So I don't really know too much about her connections, but my opinion is that I think she's just somebody who enjoys a good time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If she wants to be outside, she's outside.
There you go.
So-
Oh, she's outside. She'll tell you first. She'll tell you first. Do you tell us? Okay, and then this is one thing I meant to ask Michaela last week, but we didn't get too much into the episode, so I forgot. But tell us everything we need to know about this house, because they're back at your house.
This is
Yeah.
the exact same house.
Yeah, no, it was the exact same house. It's man, it's like it
must have got a
doesn't
good-
feel like a home. It feels like
A stage.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more staged. And I think the guy who owns it, he had built it as a compound for a bunch of his kids so that they can stay there. So that's where there's 5 rooms, and each one has a very similar setup and all that. And everything's very narrow. It's very tight. So it doesn't feel like a big open space or anything like that. You kind of feel like you go into one quarter, you come out into this narrow hallway, then you go into another quarter, and that's sort of what it is.
It really seems like it's kind of designed for people to be outside, which was kind of tougher during your season, where it was
colder.
Yeah, it was a little colder.
Dude, we were using that pool as a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would go in there. Me and Paulie, we'd be working out traumas in there, boy. We'd be in there for 5 minutes, freaking just, you know, praying and looking at the mountains, just hoping for another day. You know, like we were on that sort of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it
Crazy they
looked.
kept it open. It wasn't heated though.
No, they said it was going to be, but it was.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just like the showers are always supposed to have hot water, and they never do.
And they never do.
Right? It's like,
Oh, we were freezing.
yeah.
Freezing.
I've never been in so many houses that don't have hot water heaters or have faulty hot water heaters. Every single challenge is like, oh, there's no hot water here. Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, I think that it's to encourage us to cuddle up. I think that's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's got to be something like that.
Intentional.
But this house had an indoor hot tub and an outdoor hot tub.
Oh yeah. No, the indoor hot tub was cool. The only thing is you know they didn't clean that shit. So
Oh,
you know
yeah.
you kind of be in there with the musty water from the day before and the
Yeah.
week before. You know,
100%. During your
Yeah.
season, you're like, man, I
Yeah.
know everybody that's been in here. I don't know,
You know who was always in the hot tub though? Fessy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Fest stays in the hot tub. Yeah, you love a hot
And
tub.
now that you know that they're not cleaning it.
Yeah. Yeah. Gross. All
It's
right.
gross.
So they show Kylan and Melissa kind of getting cozy. They both kind of like each other. You know Kylan from the Big Brother family, right?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Tell me what you know about him and as a person and as an athlete / competitor.
Yeah, no, Colin is a gamer, man. Like he's somebody who always has like a whole nother level of thought when it comes to strategy, the game, very much involved in it. And as far as his, you know, interaction with what was it? Melissa.
Yeah.
You know, I can see where he's coming from. At the same time, I feel like he just needed another shot or two, and then he would have done it. He might have just been too sober in that moment, you know?
Oh yeah. We'll definitely get to the kissing situation.
Yeah.
So
Where did Kyle? He finished on his Big Brother. Where did he finish?
I think he was fourth or third.
Yeah.
Yeah, because X, Big D.
Yeah. He was fourth.
Ireland, I
He
think
went
he
out
was
fourth.
fourth.
He left him with 3.
Yeah.
And Xavier, he's
Xavier
the one
won.
that ended up.
On top. Yep.
But he voted him out. I think.
Yeah. That was a big little
Yeah, there was a scuffle.
point of
there.
contention.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
at a certain point, like when you rock with your friends, there's gonna be a time where it's me versus you.
Yeah, and the thing is with Big Brother, it's all like a matter of how comfortable you can make somebody feel. You know, so like that's why it's not good to be super confrontational. You can't share your opinion too strongly. You can't be the one initiating like big moves and stuff. Like you kind of have to play it in
Yeah.
the background, or else people will be like, "Wait, but you said this," and then they'll come back
You're caught
after.
in a lie,
Yeah,
you're caught in
caught in a
something.
lie. Yep.
So I just like he is a good competitor, and he did well on USA. Did he do well on USA?
Yeah, I
1?
think I don't think he made it to the final, but he was
halfway.
Yeah, like
he was up. So he's a gamer. He's a competitor.
for sure.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Very smart dude too.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to see
Yeah, he
him
was
back.
making like spreadsheets and stuff.
What is up with this spreadsheet?
Yeah, man. He's analytical. So one thing Kylan says, he's like, yeah, I had a little crush on her from watching her. This is a perfect example of having like a preconceived notion about somebody from watching them on TV, which I'm sure happens to you all the time.
Yeah.
Was there anyone on your season that you thought either you had a good grasp of who they were from TV or vice versa? Like they thought they knew you and then they either proved it right or proved it wrong.
Man, I mean, like the people I came in the house with, like Alyssa Snyder, Amira, we knew each other pretty well going into it. You know what I mean? Like we've already spent this amount of time. I'll say from the vet side of things, Wes is exactly who he is on TV as he is in person. Bananas, like these guys, they are who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a certain level of depth that you can get to with them when you have real convos. But as far like, dude, I'd be sitting there watching Bananas and Wes talk, and I'm like, I just feel like I have a remote controller right here. You know, like I want to pause and press play and shit because it feels like I'm watching them on TV because they're that animated in person just as much as they are on TV.
Right.
So I feel like some people carry it out. I'd say Tori though, like she's somebody who I felt like I probably had a lot of preconceived notions about, but then when I talked to her, it was a whole different story. You know, there's like she's super deep, very smart. Good, just good people. Good people.
Right, for sure. Sometimes she does get that that edit of, hey, I'm just here to play, blah, 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 but she is very deep.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we'll get into the daily challenge. It's called ball control. This one is not pass or fail, which is different from the first one. They can earn money incrementally.
This is pretty funny though.
Yeah.
They've done 2 challenges and they've done terrible on both. So it's just like,
Yeah, as a whole unit, right?
it just is a bad look, I think, because like, I don't know, like if you probably notice, like as soon as like guys, especially like Bananas and Wes, when they see a challenge, it's like in their head they already have it figured out.
Yeah, because of the experience factor.
100%.
Yeah.
None of these people have that experience,
Yeah.
and they've relied on people who've been doing the show for years, kind of while they're there. So it's just actually really funny to watch them completely like fail.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost it seems like they kind of planned for it to fail. It's like, here, we'll save $100,000 and everyone will hate on all the new kids for 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, but yeah, dude, wow, bro, that was rough.
Yeah, it was.
That was rough to watch.
Because it kind of makes them look like not as prepared or as good as they could be if it was a challenge where it was like a lot more individualized. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Versus like the team aspect. Now they look like a bunch of dumbasses because they can't figure out how to climb the, you know what I mean? So,
Right. And the only place to really show your individual prowess right now is the elimination. So
Right.
it's a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
It's 23 balls with everyone has their own name on it. Every ball has a player's name on it. $2K per ball and then $4K if they get the extra 50, as if that was a fucking realistic thing.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
As if at the beginning, many voices kind of get involved in the strategy building, including Kieran, who was like the one who devised the last plan. You know, all these voices, they can't seem to get to something. It seems like Michelle kind of has the ear of the whole group and makes the final call about how they're going about it. While some are skeptical, they put their differences aside. So overall, what are your guys' thoughts on this challenge? Zach, I'll start with you.
I mean, I think you shouldn't have hooked people in at the bottom and then had people climb over them. Because if you want to, do you know how to climb a rope? I know how to climb a rope.
Barely.
You don't have to use your arms if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But if someone's holding on to the bottom, it makes you have to use all arms. So what I would have done is been like, all right, where's 5 or however many people who can climb a rope? Number 1, climb all the way to the top, hook in. Because once you're up, you're hooked. So you're not really, right? Next person that can climb a rope. Climb the rope, get to the next spot, lock yourself in. Do that all the way down, then get, you know, have one person climb up, then start sending the balls up, and then send everybody else up. And
So
then
you seem to agree with what's his name, Kieran?
Kieran, yeah.
Kieran's because I think that's what he was proposing, right? The
you
best
want-
climbers go first.
the best climbers go first. That
Yeah.
way, then you just help everyone who can't climb. You just hand them up all the way to the top, have someone all the way up there. That takes like they literally took them like 18 minutes to get people even in the right spot.
Right.
That's because it's really hard to climb a rope that's being pulled tight at the bottom.
Mm.
You want to be like best climber, go first, hook yourself in. Second best climber, and then you just pass each other up the way until there's one person left and one ball. And like they would have gotten more balls, but
For sure.
maybe they couldn't climb a rope. Like if you don't know how to, like,
Yeah.
because I can climb a rope and use all arms. I don't have to use all legs, and you don't have to use your arms. You
Yeah.
just-
What about a wet rope? Do you think that
I don't
played
think it
into
makes a difference because
Yeah.
you're folding the rope around your feet
Got
and
you.
creating a
Yeah,
step.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I just think that they were just terrible.
Yeah, the one thing, did you think this was hard? And do you think the OGs, this is a question from someone on our Patreon. Yes, Jackie from the Patreon. If this particular show was full of OGs, do they cash
So
out?
give me 23 of the most OG people.
Yeah. Are they
Yeah, I
cashing
think
out?
we're cashing out.
So
Said easy.
the
I
way
mean, both the last 2 challenges are really
Yeah.
stupidly easy.
Yeah, he look, you're coming off a challenge very recent, and obviously like in the moment, you're one of your first challenges. It's hard to think of the right thing to do
100%. Yeah.
in the moment. But when you take a step back, obviously their hindsight is 2020. For me, I think you pretty much have it on the head, but they should have not separated. They should have just done one ladder, and it should have been all guys, so that they have the strength for everyone to just climb up and up and up and up. And then, you know, you have all the girls go up first, and then the guys from the bottom come up. I mean, you know, hindsight's 2020, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of it is just logistics and knowing where to put people, how to put them.
Yeah.
Like you can go as hard as you want in a challenge, but if you don't have the right game plan, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, you got dudes stepping on some of these shorties' faces and shit. You know?
Yeah.
yeah, dude, Olivia got trampled.
Why?
Who was the idiot that put her at the bottom?
Dude, I don't know.
Jay.
Jay probably. All I'm saying is, like, in order to climb a rope, it has to be loose at the bottom. By hooking someone into the very bottom, you just made it 10, probably 100 times harder to climb. Now, I don't know. Just was bad luck. And once you got there, you could just clip in, you know?
Yep, and then you're locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but did anyone perform noticeably better or worse than the others? That concludes the free preview of the Zach Nichols podcast.
So go to Patreon and subscribe to see the rest of the shit that we talk.
Go do it now.